Hello everyone, today I'm going to review this water heater tube tutorial. It's listed as a beginner tutorial and it explains over here what you're going to learn. This is a very good example for engineering students. This is typical objects you would need to design, and it's similar to how you would do it in other software, but a little bit easier and slightly different how you do it in SelfCAD. So let's get started. So the first thing is we're going to start with a sketch. This is the same flow you would do in normal software, and we are going to make it first that we can draw precisely what we're going to do and also where to position it. So the first thing, we're going to use the basic plane. I just clicked on the camera to focus on it from top down, but we're also going to offset it slightly to 10. So that means that the final plane, the final profile that we draw, will not rest directly on the floor but lift it up by 10. And now we're going to set the precision is we're going to add the option grid vertices, so I can draw directly snapping to a grid vertex. Okay, so now it tells me to click on the highlighted point to draw an edge. So I have to zoom into it to see it, and I see over here, which you see we click on a grid vertex. That means these boxes have 4 vertices like every rectangle, and I can click on any of these. And you can change these sizes of these vertices from the workspace settings, but for now we're going with this, and we type in a value. So now we type an exact value, which gives me the length of the line, kind of constrained. This is the length of the line, but now I have to click where to finish it, and you can see this kind of half a circle, and now it becomes a complete circle, which tells me it's a straight line. I can draw straight, and then I click over here. Now there's other ways here. You can click on minimum step size to make exactly straight lines, but this designer was managing it just kind of just doing it exact size and then positioning it and seeing, I guess eyeballing it and see it straight based on the circle created. Okay, so now I'm going to press escape to finish this line because we're going to make a new line, and now we're going to click again on a grid vertex, and now we don't need to enter a size, nothing, because we click again on a grid vertex, and we know the size of this box is 50. So automatically the line was 50, and again we escape it. So now what we have now is 2 lines. You can see it in the side panel as well. You have 2 separate lines, and now we're going to go and click an arc connecting between them. So we click again here, which snaps to the end of this line or to the grid vertex. They're both of them the same thing in this position, and the same thing over here. And now we need to enter a bulge factor, which is we enter 25, and this again can go positive or negative. So we just click over here to make it positive, go outside this way, and we now have the basic line for this pipe, and we're going to add a circle now, but we are going to uncheck this profile. This means that we're going to draw a new circle, which is going to be a new profile. Now normally what we're going to do is this circle is going to sweep around this pipe. If you're coming from other software, you're familiar with the sweep command, and we're going to use the same thing, just a different name in SelfCAD, used follow path. So sweep in SelfCAD doesn't really matter where you position the circle. I can position it any place randomly, but we are positioning it precisely because we're going to make 2 profiles. So the first one is going to be enter a value of 10, and now I just click to finalize 10, and I'm unchecking it. And the second one, we're going to click again from the same starting point, but we're going to enter a value of 4. So it's going to be a smaller one, and this is why it matters, the difference, because we need these 2 to be aligned perfectly next to each other. And actually I was wrong, I'm sorry. So I thought about it because that's how it's going to end up being, but actually in reality no, you can actually position them other locations. So it's just, I guess, a good practice. You put it, you see what's happening, but actually the position doesn't really matter. So it was my mistake. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this profile. So you see what we did is we had this inside already selected as we finished drawing it, and now we select this pipe. And now we're going to go to the follow path, which has in it more options. Has an option to copy profile, duplicate, but we're going to use the extrude, which is the same as a sweep command. The duplicate, it will duplicate the extrude. It will extrude this profile along this. And as I said, it was my mistake. This can be positioned anywhere. SelfCAD will automatically do it, depending on the settings, but the default setting will automatically position it regardless where it's positioned. Okay, so now we're going to turn on the polygon mode, and we're going to select these 2 polygons over here, and we're going to go to extrusion, and we're going to extrude that by 30. Okay, so now why do we do that? And the reason here is we need this to stick out. You'll see later we're going to put here a screw and we also needed a little bit stick out from the other one, but we didn't draw two profiles. We could have drawn one profile and then the other one a longer profile, but obviously drawing takes more steps than simply extruding this, so it's easier to use the same profile and extrude it. And now we're gonna deactivate this mode, polygon mode, and we're simply going to color this. Now this is going to be used as the inside we're later going to use to cut out, and we color that because SelfCAD's stitch and scoop, which we're going to use soon, maintains colors, which is a very, very helpful way for modeling. You can see later. So I'm going to uncheck this, and now we're going to do the same thing using the other circle. So I need to select this circle, and again also the same profile, the pipe, which is now hidden in this. So I selected it from the side panel over here, and now we're going to do the same thing, follow path, and we're going to use the same thing, extrude, but now we have a bigger circle. And you see these two have to be perfectly aligned. That's what I thought, why this has to be aligned, but in reality actually it doesn't have to be. But nevertheless, you see this one is bigger, so we use the same profile, which actually goes over here. Now there's other ways to do that, just to tell you the idea. You don't have to do it this way. I mean, obviously you can draw two profiles, but you can also play with the start and end. You can make a bigger profile, and the second one you want it to be short, you can just cut off from the start and the end the settings. But this is just intuitively the most easiest way, the way the designer did it, simply using the same profile and extrude it, and that's it. Okay, so now that we're done with this, we're gonna again select here a polygon, this polygon, and we're gonna extrude here only one, actually, and we're going to extrude it a little bit by 6. And here the reason we do this is because we want to add here a split, so we can scale this down later. You'll see in a second. We're going to scale this down, and we want to scale it actually in 2 directions and make sure they keep proportion. So we're just going to make keep proportion and type in a value of 13. So this actually means that both are 13. If you have a tutorial, if you're playing a tutorial, these options are not available, the checkboxes. I'm just going to tell you, like, besides keep proportion, there's 2 other options. The obvious option is you can type in 13 in both of them. The other option is you can check the box to lock them together if you type in, and then keep proportion. But keep proportion is the easiest way. You just keep proportion, that's it. So now we scale this down, and we have this kind of the angle that you've seen in the final image. And this is what this creates, like one long face. So in order to be able to scale this, not the entire thing at once, we needed to add a split here. And we used extrusion. There's other ways to do it. You can add inset, but extrusion is the simplest way that we do it this way. Okay, so now we're going to add a nut and screw to the other side. And this is the settings here, how to set up a nut and screw and how to position it. I'm just going to click next to simply follow these instructions. You can read this. This is simple standards for screw. And we adding this, positioning it, also adding it over here. And now I'm going to finalize it. Okay, so now that we have all of them, what we need to do here is, if you think about it for a second, we need to do 2 Boolean operations. Stitch and scoop is SelfCAD's Boolean operations. If you come from other software, they usually refer to as Boolean. And the idea here is we have different tasks in Boolean, but what we need over here is 2 different things. We need to combine the screw together with this pipe, and we also need to cut this out. So combine is usually union. That's what we call it, union, you combine them. And this is subtraction. We basically remove this. But the interesting thing is that we can do in SelfCAD actually all of them together, and because if you do one of them, so first of all, before we do the Boolean, we're just going to give a different color. It's always good to color before Boolean. And okay, so now I'm going to select all 3 objects, and these still not connected, so we're just going to go to the difference. This is how we remove that, the inside part. And if we decide to remove this piece over here, what will happen is it actually remove the inside, but at the same time it also union this, because when you remove something, what you tell the software is remove this and automatically combine everything together. So it's the same idea as we would have first unioned these 2 together and then subtracted this. You can just save a step and do it at once. Okay, so now what we have over here is we're just going to isolate this. We can do it from the panel over here or from the top, and we're done with it. So now I want to show you why it's important to have different colors, because take a look now. Now I can go to material selection, and I can simply select, let's say, just the inside. And once I select just the inside, I can do whatever I want. I mean, over here, for example, I can just change the color, but you can do a lot of other things and when you need to play. So the idea, materials here in SelfCAD are, you see we have 2 different materials here. Out of 5, these are basically the others are profiles, have their own materials, but it's we basically keep all of them separate. And if you use colors, it doesn't have to be colors, it could be any setting from the material section that will split them into a different group. It's kind of like you group them together, and then you can select them and play with them, which is a very easy way of dealing with different segments of an object. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you learned something new, and let me know in the comments if you want me to show anything else or if you have any other questions. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.